Well, let's start to talk about the global economic environment. Or, in other words, how does the commerce and politics in one country affect other countries in the world? Which means that everyone and everything is connected when we speak about global economy. For this particular case, I want to analyze the future of this small country, which is better known as Mexico, the place where I born. Just in the middle of the United States of America and the rest of America, making border with Guatemala and Belize at the south and with the land of the freedom at the north. Have you ever heard about Thomas Piketty? Well, this guy is well known for this theory. R is greater than G, or return on capital is greater than the growth rate of every country, which means that rich people become richer because they have more money to invest every year, and the rest of the population, like you and me, will be living with what we have. The majority of the people in Mexico live with a bad income and a poor quality of life, but also with the chance to work for maybe 10 lords who rule the economy in this country. The same lords who create jobs and which move the country economy forward. One Piketty solution to these huge differences between those 10 billionaires and the rest of us is to increase taxes to the wealthy people. And well, in this side of the world, corruption avoids taxation. Government taxes everyone just the same, which increases those enormous differences and promote a lot of irregular and informal commerce. Believe it or not, informal commerce represents one of the biggest way of living for millions of Mexicans, and we all avoid taxation, the poorest and the richest, everyone at his own creative way. How have we survived in an economy like this? Well, Mexico was one of the biggest oil producers in the world, but our sovereign wealth funds never went reinvested in a proper way. That's why we have some of the richest politicians in the world, who became billionaires with the law and the public money at their service. But those politicians didn't take all the money, because it was so much. And some of those huge sovereign wealth funds went invested in highways that connect the states of Mexico, ports who send exports and get imports from all around the world, especially from China. Our economy depends on manufacture because we are an emerging country. One of the biggest GDP resources connects with North America because, number one, Mexicans living across the border send a lot of money to their parents every year. Remittances and manufacturing for the US still being almost 40% of our income as a nation. That's why immigration policies and the TLCAN international treaty is so important to our country. Now that everyone speaks a lot about ending the TLCAN, and with Trump threatening our immigrants almost every week, Mexico is really nervous. Mexico and Canada are deeply interested in to continue with the TLCAN, and those negotiations will continue next year. Everyone is hoping for the Trump administration to say yes. We have a fragile economy. Our inflation becomes affected every time that the US, the European Union, or even Asia take international decisions that modify their economy. So, what should the Mexicans expect for next year? Well, not everything seems so complicated. Technology gives us a lot of chances to interact directly with some other countries. Now, we can learn and even produce interacting with every nation in the world. We still have some natural resources to export, and our world labor still being cheaper than the one that powerful nations can find in Asia and Central America. Unfortunately, corruption still been a huge issue for Mexico, our population rate still growing and concentrating in a few regions like Mexico City, where a crowded and polluted city becomes a huge issue to solve. Mexico City has an enormous challenge to take, with less water, a polluted city, and a criminal rate increasing. We will face a national election next year, and even when the international community has argued about the National Party as one of the main corruption sources, it all seems that they will win once again. This new president will need to find new international agreements to sign with other countries, which can bring benefits to Mexico. With the Brexit going on, maybe the UK can be one of those, maintaining our treaty with the European Union. However, they strongly need trying to maintain the TLCAN. Should we paralyze for the fear? Obviously not. If for several decades we have been punched by corruption, drug cartels, and a continuous growth of the population rate, our country still have a young population majority. And we all believe that they will always find a creative way to take advantage of this changing world economy.